ॐ विश्वं दर्पणदृश्यमाननगरी तुल्यन्निजान्तर्गतं पश्यन्नात्मनि मायया बहिरिवोद्भूतं यथा निद्रया यत्साक्षात् कुरुते प्रबोधसमये स्वात्मानमेवाद्वयं तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये बीजस्यान्तरिवाङ्कुरो जगदिदं प्राङ्निर्विकल्पं पुनः मायाकल्पितदेशकालकलना वैचित्र्यचित्रीकृतं मायावीव विजृम्भयत्यभिमः योगी वयस्वेच्छया तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम्। यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः। ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः। देवाय तस्मै नमः देवाय तस्मै। So we have started chapter 7 of Bhagavad Gita, and we also we are discussing that these 18 chapters have been divided into 3 groups. Each group of 6 chapters is called Shatkam. We have Panchakam, Manisha Panchakam, a group of 5 verses. Same way, Shatkam is a group of 6 chapters here. We have Dashakam also. Anyway, so 3 parts. Prathama Shatkam, Dvitiya Shatkam, Tritiya Shatkam. Prathama Shatkam, first 6 chapters, has 3 important Vishaya, subject matter. And that is, first is the nature of an individual. That's a prime subject matter in the first 6 chapters. Nature of individual is the consciousness. Who is this Jiva? So the all-pervading consciousness Brahman obtains in this body is called Jiva, is individual. Body is like a container. You know, the space obtains in a pot. We give a different name called pot space. Actually, it is one space only. There is nothing called pot space, but since it obtains in a container, as though. So same way, the nature of individual is basically, well, who is distinct from the body, mind, sense complex, and he is Brahman. So that is discussed very well in the Prathama Shatkam, the first group of 6 chapters, especially in the second chapter. And in second chapter also, first, 12 to 25, very beautifully Bhagavan showed that, well, this individual basically is free from birth and death and etc. He is eternal, etc. So this is one subject matter of these 6 chapters. Then the second subject matter is Bhagavan has discussed a means of gaining this knowledge, self-knowledge. And Karma Yoga, Bhagavan discussed. And Karma Yoga also Bhagavan discussed in 2nd chapter, 3rd chapter, 4th chapter, 5th chapter, 6th chapter. In 2nd chapter, well-known verse for Karma Yoga is 47th verse. Karmanyeva adhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana, etc. 3rd chapter is predominantly Karma Yoga. 4th chapter also has verses discussing Karma Yoga. 5th chapter also is there. Brahmanyadhaya karmani sangam tyaktva karoti yaha. Bhagavan 10th verse in 5th chapter discuss this. 6th chapter beginning itself, the very first verse is regarding Karma Yoga. Even though it is a Dhyana Yoga, but the first verse indicate that anashrita karma phalam karyam karma karoti yaha sasanyasi cha yogi cha na niragnihi na chakriya, etc. Anyway, so basically every chapter discusses this second topic. In the first group of 6 chapter is Karma Yoga. And the third topic, is discussed is a role of an individual effort. And we call it as a Purusha Prayatna, effort on the part of the person to gain moksha, to gain self-knowledge. And so these 3 topics in the first 6 chapters. Then in the second group of 6 chapters, we call from 7 to 12. In that 7 to 12, here also 3 important subject matters are there. There in the first group of 6 chapters, it was a nature of an individual. Here it is nature of Ishvara. That is nature of Jiva, here it is nature of Ishvara. What is Ishvara, etc.? Well, what is the glory of Ishvara? Definition of God, nature of God, then function of the God, the glory of the God, etc., etc. This is one of the subject matter in the second group of the 6 chapters. We call Madhyama Shatkam. Prathama Shatkam, Madhyama Shatkam. And the second topic here in this 6 chapters, 7 to 12, is Upasana. There it is Karma Yoga. Here it is Upasana. Upasana and meditation. Meditation on Ishvara, that's called Upasana. Saguna Brahma Vishaya Manasa Vyaparaha Dhyanam. So the mental activity relating to Ishvara, purely mental activity. Just at the mental level, when you relate to Ishvara, centered on Ishvara, any mental activity is called Upasana, Dhyana. So that is the topic. So Bhagavan first described what is God, and then how to meditate on Lord also has been discussed. So second topic. And third topic in Madhyama Shatkam is there it was a Purusha Prayatna, individual effort. Here it is a grace of God. So, what is the grace of God? Very important, factor in the spiritual growth of the individual. Of course, individual grows, gains self-knowledge through his own effort, but at the same time he requires grace of Ishvara also in order to gain this knowledge. And so, we can accomplish everything with both individual effort plus grace of Ishvara. So these 3 topics are there: Ishvara Swarupam, Upasana, Ishvara Upasana, meditation on Lord, and third is Ishvara Krupa. So predominantly the discussion in the second Madhyama Shatkam is Ishvara. In a Prathama Shatkam, the discussion is predominantly Jiva. So Jiva and Ishvara. And then third Shatkam, definitely identity. But now, 13 to 18. So these are the topics. Now we'll have to see the first verse. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Maya Saktamanah Partha Yogam Yunjan Madashrayah Asamshayam Samagram Mam Yathagnyasya Tachrunu So we'll be seeing with the Bhashyam. So I will first read a little bit Bhashyam and then explain, and thereby we'll understand the whole verse. In Bhashyam it says, Yoginampi sarvesham madgate nantaratmana shraddhavan bhajate yomam same yukta tamo matah iti prashnabijam upanyasya swayam eva idrisham madiyam tattvam evam madgata antaratma syat iti etat vivakshuhu. So yoginam api sarvesham, Bhashyakara quotes this verse, which is the verse of the 6th chapter, the last verse of the 6th chapter. That Bhagavan Bhashyakara is quoting here, in which Bhagavan has mentioned that among the various types of meditators, because 6th chapter pertaining to the meditation. So in the last verse of the 6th chapter, Bhagavan says, well, among various types of meditators, those yoginam, means among those meditators, yogi means a meditator, one who meditates on Lord. So among the various types of meditators, those people who meditate on Ishvara, they are better compared to those who meditate on Devatas. Devatas are limited entities. So they are basically, compared to those meditators, the one who meditates on Ishvara is a better yogi. Like that Bhagavan said. So there are countless, Adhishthan Devatas are there definitely, and there are many people who meditate upon various Devatas. We are basically limited. Their Devatas also are exalted Jivas only. So therefore, compared to that, who meditate upon such a limited entities, compared to that, meditation on limitless Ishvara is better. Like that Bhagavan said. And this same topic, mentioning of the Ishvara, here pertaining to Dhyanam, even in the 5th chapter also, the last verse talks about Ishvara. I said the first 6 chapters generally predominantly talk about the Jiva, individual, nature of individual, etc. But Bhagavan mentions Ishvara even in the 5th chapter end, as well as in the 6th chapter end also. In 5th chapter end, Bhagavan said, Bhoktaram yajna tapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram suhridam sarvabhutanam gnatva mam shanti vrichyati. In the 29th verse of the 5th chapter, Bhagavan says, knowing well me as the sustainer of all the rituals and the disciplines, etc. So, the Lord of all the beings, all the worlds, and the friend of all the beings, he gains peace. One who knows Lord like this, he's a suhridam. He is a friend of all, and he is the Lord of all the beings, and he is the one who basically sustains the rituals and disciplines and all. One who knows Ishvara like this, definitely he gains peace. Peace means moksha. There are not two different things. You gain peace because you are peace, you are silence. Consciousness is silence. One who doesn't pay attention, then one remains basically all the time agitated. If you know that basically you are the one who illumines even the sounds and absence of sounds. And therefore one who illumines a silence, absence of a sound, must be silence. Otherwise you cannot appreciate the absence of sound. If you appreciate a silence, then you must be silence. Anyway, so peace, that it is say shantim vrichyati, moksham. Well, he knows the Atma is Shantaha. Shanta, in Mandukya also it has been said very well. Atma Shantam Shivam Advaitam Chaturtham Manyante Sa Atma Sa Vigneya. Atma is Sada Shantaha. Shanta. Anyway, so there also in the 5th chapter end, Bhagavan mentioned Ishvara. 6th chapter end, I told you, one who meditates on Ishvara is a better yogi better meditator compared to one who meditates on Devata. So in 6th chapter end also, Bhagavan mentions Ishvara. So 5th chapter and 6th chapter. So basically in 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, nowhere Bhagavan mentioned about Ishvara, but in 5th chapter end and 6th chapter end. Anyway, So without discussing what is Ishvara, Bhagavan mentions just the Ishvara. So naturally, the listener of this Bhagavad Gita will have the question. Krishna is glorifying Ishvara like that in the 5th chapter end and 6th chapter end, but at the same time, what is Ishvara is not telling. And so, there will be a question in the mind of a listener. And what is responsible for the question? That verse, 6th chapter end verse, where Bhagavan glorifies the meditator of Ishvara, well, definitely becomes the seed of the questions. That's how Bhashyakara mentions Prashna Bijam. Arjuna has not asked question, but the 6th chapter and the verse, Yoginam api sarvesham, etc., that verse creates two questions in the mind of the listener of this 6th chapter. So that's how Bhashyakara says, Prashna Bijam Upanyasya. Anyway, but what questions? Two questions will come. First is, who is Ishvara? You are glorifying Ishvara, is fine. Who is this Ishvara? And this simple thing is, without going to Shastra, one can tell with a little daring that Ishvara is the whole. If Ishvara is not the whole, means Ishvara is limited, it is not Ishvara. Definitely is a Jiva. So Ishvara is conscious being who is whole. That much we can say. But then also question will remain, what is whole? Who is whole Ishvara? Purna Ishvara means what? So that Bhagavan is going to reveal now. And the second question will be, how to practice this Purna Ishvara Dhyanam? So these two questions will come up by listening to the last verse of the 6th chapter, in which it has been told that the meditator of this Ishvara, Purna Ishvara, is a better compared to the one who meditates on Devatas, etc. Arjuna has not asked the question. So even though Arjuna did not ask these two questions, Krishna is a very fantastic teacher, and so he imagines the possible questions from this the student. And so Bhagavan himself, as though from the first verse itself in the 7th chapter, starts answering these two questions, thinking that these are the questions present in the student's mind. So that is how iti prashna bijam upanyasya, presenting the seed of the question. Presenting the seed of the question is nothing but the last verse of the 6th chapter, that is 47th verse of the 6th chapter, is a prashna bijam. That's a verse which creates these two questions. So, who is Purna Ishvara, and what is the meditation of this Purna Ishvara? And why does this question came? Well, because at the end of the 6th chapter, Bhagavan glorified the meditator of Ishvara. Anyway, and but why should Bhagavan? Somebody asked me this question, in fact, last time, that why Bhagavan has to say that the meditator of Ishvara is better compared to the meditator of the Devatas. Do the people meditate on Devatas? Very much true. Even people go to Rama temple, definitely Hanumanji's altar will be there in one side, right? People will definitely do more Pradakshina of the Hanumanji compared to Rama. They will just do namaskara once to Rama, but all the things they do is of Hanumanji. That shows that very clearly that people worship Devatas more than Ishvara. So otherwise, what they were asking, why they were doing Pradakshina to Hanumanji? Because they want a blessing of Hanumanji. But then Rama is there? No. They say, Hanumanji has a blessing power. What I want, and he will bless me. So Hanumanji says, you go to Rama. He himself is saying Rama, Rama, Rama. And this person basically just worship Hanumanji. And in fact, in a current society, this is very true. Even youngsters may not go to any other temple, but the Hanumanji's temple and Sai Baba's temple. In India, these two temples are full. Saturday, Hanumanji's temple, and on Thursday, Sai Baba's temple. There is a big queue. Then, just beside that, there is a Lord Shiva's temple. Nobody goes there. So that shows that people worship devatas nowadays more. And those days also it may be there compared to meditating on Ishvara, Purna Ishvara. That's a thing. Anyway, so iti, in this manner, now, these two topics, these two questions will be raised because of this verse. And iti, in this manner, Prashna Bijam Upanyasya, Lord Krishna has presented a shloka which triggers these two questions. And this verse is called question triggering verse. That's the meaning, Prashna Bijam Shlokam. Anyway, and definitely this kind of question arises to a thinking student. Who is Purna Ishvara? How to meditate on Ishvara? Because Bhagavan is praising meditator of Ishvara. So, Swayameva, Bhagavan himself, iti etat vivakshuhu, he wants to answer. So he told the last verse in the 6th chapter, created this kind of two questions in a listener's mind, and Swayameva, he himself, wants to answer. Iti etat vivakshuhu means he wants to answer that. It comes later, vivakshuhu comes later, but we have to join it. So Krishna himself wants to answer both these questions. Where in these 6 chapters, 7 to 12, is answers of 2 questions. Madhyama Shatkam. And how will he answer? What answers he gives? Idrisham madiyam tattvam. This is an answer to the first question. Who is a Purna Ishvara? Idrisham madiyam tattvam. Idrisham means this is madiyam, my tattvam, swarupam. This is my swarupam. Who is Purna Ishvara? This is my swarupam. This is Ishvara's swarupam. My means Bhagavan is saying. So this is Ishvara's swarupam. And so this will be said, and that is Bhagavan is describing in a little different way. Bhagavan is telling my swarupam is twofold. First is a para-prakriti. Second is a apara-prakriti. We'll be seeing, but in short, first let me tell you para-prakriti and apara-prakriti. The word prakriti, he is introducing these 2 words in the 7th chapter itself, while describing his own nature. In reply to the question, what question? Who is Purna Ishvara? So, he says, I'm twofold. Para-prakriti, apara-prakriti. Prakriti means what? Prakriti means which has the essential capacity to create. Karanam, cause. That's called prakriti. Then para-prakriti means what? Para-prakriti means a swarupa prakriti, means swarupa is that which makes something what is. So, Atma basically is a para-prakriti, because of Atma everything is, right? Everything has an existence in Atma. And therefore, para-prakriti or a swarupa prakriti is nothing but the consciousness, Atma, because of which everything exists. In fact, every name and form has prakriti is this Atma. Brahman, Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma is the nature of everyone, because of which the form exists, name and form exist. So that is called para-prakriti. Otherwise, the different name is Swarupa Prakriti. The second one is what? Apara Prakriti. That is also Ishvara. That is called Swabhava Prakriti. Means what? It consists of these 5 elements, subtle and gross, and it is in the form of a Karanam and Karyam, naturally. So this is Karyam, body is Karyam, made up of what? Elements, Karanam. So this Apara Prakriti is in the form of a Karanam, elements, and what is put together with the elements, bodies, etc. That is Karyam. So it is in the form of a Karanam and Karyam, Apara Prakriti. And Karyam is always denoted by Karanam. So therefore, Karanam, even though called Prakriti, elements, etc., but ultimately this Karyam, what is made also, is nothing but the elements, and therefore this is also called Prakriti, Karanam. Like that it has been said. So anyway, and if you look into that, that is called Maya. right? All the elements. We have that chart in that, Tattva Bodha. So from Maya, then, Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. And from there, the Tanmatras come. And Tanmatras, then again, then, the subtle elements, and then gross elements, etc., etc. So ultimately it is Maya. So in short, Paraprakriti Brahman, Aparaprakriti Maya. That's it. Bhagavan uses the different words. If he uses the same word, we get tired. So he uses a different word now for Paraprakriti, which is the cause by which provides even existence to everything. Karanam alone gives existence to Karyam. The very existence of the ornament is the existence of the gold. And therefore, Karanam alone lends existence. So, Brahman or Atma, the consciousness alone lends existence. Everything exists. When you say, gold consciousness is. Table consciousness is. The very existence of table is pervaded by consciousness, is proven by consciousness. Everything exists in consciousness. Anyway, so Paraprakriti is Brahman, Atma, and Aparaprakriti is Maya, from which the subtle elements, gross universe put together, everything is there. Anyway, so Bhagavan says, Idrisham Madiyam Tattvam. You are asking a question. Arjuna has not asked, but it has been said. So what is Ishvara? Well, it is in twofold. Paraprakriti plus Aparaprakriti. Brahman plus Maya. Okay. And then, second question also is there. The answer to the second question, Bhagavan, will give Madgat, So, Idrisham Madhyam Tattvam evam Madgata Antaratma Syat. Evam Madgata Antaratma. Well, evam means in this manner, in this following manner. Well, Madgata. Mad means of me, Ishvara. Gatam means fixed. Antaratma means mind. You asked, Arjuna, in your mind there is a question, how should I meditate on Ishvara? Well, you should fix your mind in me. So, one should fix the mind upon the God. So, these are the two. But Swamiji, this is not an answer. The whole 6 chapters are there. But, Shankaracharya ji's, presents Bhagavan's answer in this way. Idrisham Madhyam Tattvam. This is my nature in form of Paraprakriti, Aparaprakriti. And Evam Madgata Antaratma. This is the way you have to fix your mind upon me and meditate. So this is what has been said. Syat means it should be like this. Iti, in this manner, Etad Vivakshuhu, Bhagavan is going to answer these two important questions. And therefore, Sri Bhagavanu Vacha. This is how it will be. Anyway, now before I am going to Bhashyam further on the first verse, I will give you the gist of the verse first. Now here, basically, in the first half of this verse, Bhagavan defines a spiritual seeker by giving the 3 important features of the spiritual seeker. These features, if we are there, then definitely moksha will be there. Today, tomorrow, moksha will be there. Really. First is what? If suppose somebody asks a question, who is a spiritual seeker? Who is a seeker of a moksha? What are the characteristics, etc.? Then these 3 features Bhagavan described in the very first line of the verse. First is Mai Asakta Manaha. So, he is Asakta Manaha, interested. Manaha, his mind, he is totally interested in Mai. He is interested in Purna Ishvara. So first description of this spiritual seeker is, he is no more interested in any other thing, any other Purushartha. Not by disenchantment. He has resolved the issue. That there is nothing in the world is worthy to be called as a goal. Behind that goal, also there is a goal. And that goal really is Ishvara. Everyone is searching Ishvara alone, nothing else. Everything is searching wholeness. Everything is searching, everybody is searching fullness. We generally call as a fulfillment, success. That's it. That's it. Success means what? What I want in my life, I get. Fine. And therefore, ultimately, fulfillment in life. Everyone is seeking that. The journey of the human being is from smallness to the wholeness. That's a life. Smallness to wholeness. I'm small, I feel small, and if I feel small and then I'm comfortable with the smallness of me, I won't put any efforts. My whole effort is to get rid of smallness, centered on I. Limitations on I. If I want to get rid of limitations of I, centered on I, what will be the goal? Limitlessness is a goal. You don't want any kind of a limitation centered on I. So that limitless is Ishvara. So Mai Asakta Mana, who has done this Nitya Vastu Viveka, that way also we can say. So the goal of life is money. Correct, very good. Goal of life is money. Are you really interested in money or security? No, I'm interested in security. Definitely, money gives security. Okay, money does give security? Yeah, it gives security. Then are you now secure totally? No, I am not secure. Have you money? Yeah, I am money. Then how can you be insecure now? So money gives you a sense of security temporarily. When it comes, it gives. Again, you become insecure. Anything in the world, you get even different types of objects of enjoyment, they definitely give. They give an enjoyment temporarily, right? And therefore, basically so-called our goals, we generally define it as in Hinduism we call Artha and Kama. Definitely, they do give an enjoyment, security, sense of security, etc., but temporarily. And I want to be secure, I want to be happy permanently. So you are seeking something permanent. And what your goal is there which gives you something temporary. Then what is a permanent source of security? What is a permanent source of happiness? We should know. If you know, and then you will come to know, it is nothing other than Ishvara. Ishvara must be. If you don't know much, still this much we can know, Ishvara can never be insecure. Ishvara can never be unhappy. This much we know. So Ishvara is one who is source of happiness, source of security. Happens to be Atma, that's a different issue, but this is the thing. Knowing that one is seeking now Ishvara. I'm interested in permanent security or joy, etc., enjoyment, happiness. Then Ishvara, I should seek Ishvara, not money, etc. Because they are giving me a sense of security, but not permanently. Again, I seek more money to become secure. Again, I seek more money to be secure. Again, I seek more money to be secure. It never ends. Right? It never ends. Same way, every different objects, sense objects give enjoyment. That's true. But they give temporarily. So knowing this, Nityam, Anityam, the other goals, Artha, Kama, even Dharma also, Punya, etc., by which you gain in future Artha and Kama, right? Still, they definitely, they what you really seek in your life, they don't give. And therefore, one is seeking now Ishvara, Nityavastu. So, Nitya Nityavastu Viveka. So, knowing that, Mai Asakta Mana, he is totally interested in a Purna Ishvara as a goal of life. This is the first characteristic of a spiritual seeker. He should have a clarity. What I am really seeking in my life is Ishvara. That's first. Because he is a mumukshu, Ishvara means moksha. There are various names. Anyway, second description Bhagavan says in the first line about spiritual seeker is Mat Ashraya. Mat Ashraya means for gaining this Purna Ishvara, well, he is depending upon. Ashraya means support, depending upon. He is depending upon whom? Mat, Bhagavan says. For gaining me, well, he is depending upon me, my grace. He is taking my support, means, well, basically, he wants to attain Purna Ishvara, and to attain that, he is seeking my grace also. So, this is a second characteristic. And then, well, third thing is, Bhagavan says, Yogam yunjan. So, Mayasakta manaha partha, he partha, Mayasakta manaha yogam yunjan madashraya. I have narrated two. Mayasakta manaha and madashraya. Third is yogam yunjan. What is yogam yunjan? Well, he is really seeking my grace for gaining me, for understanding me, etc. Well, but he himself is putting an effort. He is not sitting with a crossed leg and, folded hands. His yogam yunjan means he is putting forth the appropriate effort for reaching the God, for gaining this goal. Yogam means appropriate effort. Yunjan means one who puts forth. So one who invests, one who practices, puts appropriate efforts. So this yoga is a very generic word. In the Bhagavad Gita, you will find several yoga word for many, many, many meanings. So it's a generic word for any type of a spiritual practice, spiritual sadhana. So, well, here we can take it yogam yunjan, putting appropriate efforts to gain Ishvara. What are they? Very first thing is karma yoga, right? Karma yoga. The first is the one. Initial level. Then upasana, meditation on Lord, intermediary level, and jnana yoga. Well, it will be in the culmination level. All the three yogas, he practices this to gain moksha, to gain Ishvara. And that is to be, what is to be practiced when? Well, that depends upon person. That depends upon a person. Everybody, some people, well, definitely can gain knowledge and assimilate also. Well, they don't require karma yoga, upasana, because their minds are focused, their minds are clear, free from likes and dislikes. They are able to focus, not preoccupied with other things. Well, then they can assimilate. Knowledge requires two things. One is to receive. The reception itself sometimes doesn't take place because of the blocks. And those blocks are ragadvesha, fences, several types of prejudices. Such a mind cannot receive. And even if by chance if it receives, it cannot retain. To receive and retain, one needs a certain depth of the mind. The depth of the mind one gains it through upasana, especially mantra meditation. Definitely gives you a depth. People who do a mantra meditation, japa, I am saying, manasa japa, will definitely gain this depth. When it has a depth, then it can retain. If it is shallow, it cannot retain anything. That's what people complain. That Swamiji, we understand everything here in the class. When we just get up, it evaporates. Nothing remains. Because mind is so much, has a shallowness. Or maybe preoccupied, prejudices, certain fancies, likes and dislikes. Again, they come back. And if you cannot retain, there is a question of an assimilation. You have to assimilate this, right? And therefore, one needs to have a karma yoga, upasana, and jnana yoga. Depending upon one's own capacity, depending upon one's own qualification, one can choose a particular means to practice. So, yogam yunjan. So, that shows this person is not merely dependent upon Bhagavan's grace. He exercises his free will, etc. So, well, some people say, when Bhagavan wants to give moksha, he will give. That is not going to work. So, that is what it is. Many religious people basically reject this free will idea, saying everything Bhagavan only does, etc. And when Bhagavan wants to give moksha, he will give moksha. My job is to do prapatti, sharanagati, to surrender, and nothing else. It won't work. Even if you take a sharanagati, you have to do this shravanamana nididhyasanam, etc. pertaining to this shastra. So we say Sharanagati is not basically a dropping responsibility. Sharanagati does not replace responsibility of doing karma yoga or upasana or doing shravanam, etc. also. Sharanagati should be there. But at the same time, you have to put effort in terms of these things. So three things are there. First is a clarity about the goal spiritual seeker should have. He should appreciate the grace of Ishvara, second. and he should put efforts, prayatna. 3 things are required in a spiritual seeker. These are the 3 descriptions for a spiritual seeker. Ishvara is a goal, Ishvara is a path, and Ishvara is an appropriate effort. All the 3. Then in the second half of the verse, I'm giving you the gist, then we'll go to Bhashyam. In the second half, Bhagavan mentions the prayojanam, phalam of this, knowing Ishvara. So, if a spiritual seeker have these 3 things, 3 characteristics, asakta manaha, he is clear about the goal, he appreciates Ishvara's grace, and he puts appropriate effort, then success is definite. But what is success has been told in the second line. Samagram mam yatha gnyasyasi. So he will come to discover this Purna Ishvara. Samagram means Purnam, total. Gnyasyasi means he will discover Purna Ishvara. He will know means he will discover. So what do you mean by this Purna Ishvara? I have already told you, para prakriti plus apara prakriti. Total. Total. So Ishvara with attributes, Ishvara without attributes. Ishvara without attributes called Brahman. Ishvara with attributes is this Maya, Jagat. Right? So total. This is called total. Samagram. Total. In Vedanta language we call Brahman plus Maya. Anyway. So this discovery of this Purna Ishvara is equal to attainment of Purna Ishvara. Ishvara Jnanam eva Ishvara Prapti. Simple. Because Ishvara is a whole. If it is whole, well, definitely I am also included in that. No whole is a whole, leaving aside me. Right? So if Ishvara is a whole, it includes me. Then I am whole. I am Ishvara. So knowing Ishvara as a whole is gaining Ishvara in form of Atma. What is whole is here and now. Here and now. What is whole, WHOL, is here and now. Cannot be in future. If anything comes in future, it will be always limited. What comes in a particular time is limited in time. What is limited in terms of a space, particular, not here, Swamiji. It is at this particular place, then it also is limited in time, limited in place. So limited in time, limited in place is not whole. Whole means which is present here and now. What is here and now? Can you tell me? What is here and now? Any object or maybe subject? What is here and now? What do you think? Subject. Object will be here right now, but may not be later. Any object being limited in place may be here at this moment, may not be later. The object being limited in time may be now, may not be later. What is here and now, all the time, all the places must be the whole, and that is subject only, or Ishvara. And therefore, Ishvara Jnanam eva Ishvara Prapti. That's it. Just knowing. That's how I said, Gnasyasi, Bhagavan said, you will come to know. If you have these 3 characteristics, if you are a spiritual seeker, you will know me totally. So, but you will discover me totally. It's already there. It's a fact of the life. Ishvara is a whole. And definitely, being whole, it includes me. And therefore, I am the whole. Well, but one will discover. This discovery alone is knowledge. That's called self-knowledge, where one discovers that one is not other than, one not separate from the Ishvara. That's called Aikya Jnanam. And therefore what you are seeking in your life, security and pleasure, is yourself only. That's what the Vedanta's message is. What you are seeking is yourself, really speaking. And that is why, even though after gaining thousands and thousands of things, one remains dissatisfied in terms of security, in terms of pleasure. Always remains seeker. When one discovers that I am the very source of security, Atma being timeless, etc., Anatma being full, limitless, well, one becomes free from the seeking itself. Prajahati yada kaman sarvan partha manogatan atmani eva atmana tushtaha. Bhagavan said, one is happy with oneself because one has discovered oneself whole. That's what you are seeking, and that you discovered that you are that. So you remain with yourself. Atmani atmana tushtaha. Right now, due to ignorance, I have not discovery of myself or Ishvara, whatever. Then one is looking extrovert, right? To gain the same thing, one is looking outward. This is what it is. Anyway, so this is called Kevala Advaita Siddhanta. In Vishishta Advaitam, well, definitely, Ishvara Jnanam and Ishvara Prapti are not identical. So, well, you will gain Ishvara Jnanam in this Janma, and then you worship him, do especially Upasana, etc. of Narayana, and then you go to Vaikuntha through that Shukla Gati. Well, and you be a permanent resident. You will have a green card of a Vaikuntha. That's how it is. So you stay with Ishvara, Vaikuntha, Narayana. That is called moksha. So Ishvara Jnanam in this life, Ishvara Prapti later. This is Vishishta Advaitin. You do Upasana, then only you will go. And there are two paths have been shown that the Jiva, after leaving the body, he can go through either of the path. Shukla Krishne gati hyete jagati shashvate mate ekaya yatya navrittim anyaya vartate punaha. Shukla Krishne gati hyete. There are two paths for a Jiva after departing the body. One is a Shukla Marga, bright path. Other is a Krishna Marga, dark path. So if you go through the bright path, you won't return. So you will go to Vaikuntha and never return, permanent resident. If you go via Krishna, dark path, you will come back, up and down. Up and down will continue for the Jiva. Again come to this world, again do some punya karma, again go some good higher lokas, then again come back. Like that. Anyway, so this is what they believe. Vishishtadvaitin believe Ishvara Jnanam, Ishvara Prapti are not identical. Vedanta, Kevaladvaitin, all are Vedanta. Vishishtadvaitin also are Vedantin. We are also Vedantin. We are Kevaladvaitin. We say, well, Ishvara Jnanam eva Ishvara Prapti. Ishvara being whole is not located in one place. If it's a located, limited. Anything which is located is limited. In time, place, everything. Right? And therefore, Ishvara, Ishvara's location itself is a very typical thing. Upanishad declares very beautifully, Brahmavid apnoti param. Knowing Brahman, knowing Ishvara, well, he gains limitlessness. He gains moksha. He gains the purushartha. Clear. Brahmavid, knower. Vit means knower. Knower of Brahman. Means knowing is attaining. That's what it is. So this should be very clear. Anyway, so Jnasasi, we will have to take it as because you may think Swami quietly translate Jnasasi is equal to Prapyasi. But this is how it is. Knowing is gaining. Knowing is gaining. 10th man gains 10th man by knowing I am 10th. That's it. 10th man gains 10th man. What is this 10th man story? I need not tell you, people know now. So 10th man gains 10th man. He was telling himself as 9th. Same way I consider myself as a limited being, Jiva, etc. Thereby I basically, by disowning Ishvara, by wholeness, etc., well, I suffer. When I disown this, that I am not Jiva, basically I am whole. Ishvara is whole, then whole, I am also whole. I cannot be separate from Ishvara, being whole. Anything whole covers everything. And therefore, this clarity should be there. Well, then gains, knowing itself, Shravanam, Mananam, Nidhyasanam becomes fruitful. You also commit yourself totally, knowing, if you know this. So anyway, Jnasas is equal to Prapsasi. So Arjuna being this true spiritual seeker, well, you will come to know, Bhagavan says, you will discover me and you will attain me. Tvam jnasasi. Bhagavan says to Arjuna, you will know. But that's true, success will be there for spiritual seeker and all that. But what are the chances, probability of the success? What is the percentage of success? Do you have any statistical data, etc.? Well, Bhagavan says, asamshayam. Asamshayam, samshaya rahitam. Samshaya means a doubt. Definitely you will discover. Doubtlessly you will discover and attain me by being a spiritual seeker endowed with these threefold description, threefold qualifications. You should be Maya Asakta Manaha. You should basically have a clarity. The goal of life is Ishvara. Even of a Nastika, we know now. Goal of a Nastika also is Ishvara. He will not accept Ishvara, but what he is searching is Ishvara alone. Anyway, and then Mad Ashrayaha, he appreciates Ishvara's grace. I am talking right now is grace of Ishvara. Right? I am seeing you is a grace of Ishvara. Because all these are taking place very intelligently with certain laws. And those laws are not made by a human being. Those laws are pervading the creation. Laws of Ishvara. In fact, Ishvara is the law. That's how we say order. Ishvara is the law. Because he is a maker and material both. So whatever laws are there, they are also Ishvara alone. So by Ishvara's grace, I am able to see, I am able to talk, I am able to lift hand. You are able to see, listen, everything. So you appreciate it. That's how Puja Swami's one topic is, Ishvara in one's life. Something like that, right? Bringing Ishvara in one's life, yeah. Bringing Ishvara in one's life. You need not bring Ishvara in life, he's already there. You basically pay attention of presence of Ishvara who has imbibed in your life. The very digestion takes place because of Ishvara. That's how in 15th chapter, very beautifully Bhagavan says, I am present as a digestive fire. Right? So this is appreciating already, Ishvara is present, but we appreciate it. That's called bringing Ishvara in one's life. Anyway, so one who appreciates the grace of Ishvara, one whose goal is Ishvara, and one who puts appropriate effort in terms of karma yoga, etc. If it is there, asamshayam gnasasi, you will doubtlessly know me or gain me, same thing. Now we are curious to know, everything is fine, how will it happen? Well, it is very nice to listen to, but how is it possible? So, if you have this curiosity, Bhagavan says, Shrunu, asamshayam, mam samagram mam jnasasi tat shrunu. May you listen to what I am going to say. This is the gist of the verse I have given you. Now I will read Bhashyam and explain this verse again. See the Bhashyam. Mai vakshamana visheshane parmeshware asaktam manaha yasya saha mai asakta manaha. He Partha, yogam yunjan manas samadhanam kurvan mat ashrayah ahameva parameshwarah ashrayah yasya saha madashrayah. Mai asakta manaha. Right? That's the first word. Shankaracharya ji explains mai first. What is mai? This is the style of Bhashyam. Picking up the words, different words from the verse or a mantra and explaining each word. And in that, suppose a doubt may create in somebody's mind why this particular kind of a meaning is given, then Bhashyakara even solves that also, raising a Purupaksha, objection of that meaning, and then answers, etc. This is a style of Bhashyam. So, Mai means in me. Now, when Bhagavan is saying in me, means in Ishvara, right? In Ishvara. So this is appropriate meaning. Mai means Parmeshware, it has been told. Yeah. Because Mai means Mr. Krishna also. He has one form, right? Limited in time, limited in place. He also goes, he also has a Swarga Arohanam in Prabhas, in one particular place in a Gujarat, where he has given up his body. And he lived some 100 years or some 125 years, and then he left the body. So Mai means that Krishna, son of Vasudeva? No, 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 no. Parameshware. Shankaracharya says, no, Parameshware, who is limitless in terms of time and place. So, Mai Vakshamana Visheshane. Vakshamana Visheshana means one who is going to be described. Ishvara is going to be described in this 7th chapter as this limitless Ishvara, who is in the form of Paraprakriti and Aparaprakriti, everything, who is limitless. So that Vakshamana Visheshana means one who is going to be described in the 7th chapter, Parameshware, who is infinite. Vakshamana means who is going to be described. Visheshana means description. And, well, my Asakta Manaha, Asaktam Manaha Yasya, that's a Bahuri compound. Asaktam Manaha Yasya Saha Asakta Manaha. A spiritual seeker in whose mind is craving actually. Frankly speaking, Asakti means a craving. One who is craving for Ishvara. Craving. The like people, the material people who are extrovert, they have a craving for different sense objects. Same way, this Mumukshu has a craving for Parameshwara. Craving for moksha is craving for Ishvara. He knows very well now all these things. So, a spiritual seeker is one whose mind desperately interested in Ishvara alone. As the Purushartha. Because he has understood that other than Parameshwara, nothing is predictable. Anywhere you take a support, that support goes away. Either a person, either an inert object, either a situation. Everything in the world is unpredictable, uncontrollable, unsustainable, irreliable. Irreliable. Now we should not create a prejudice. This is how the creation is. Constantly moving. And Bhagavan says, this is myself. This is my aparaprakriti. This is how it is. Jatasya hi dhruvo mrityuhu dhruvam janma mrutasya cha. Maharaj, you are saying this? You should stop. No, dhruvam. Definitely. What is born, gone, will go. Jatasya hi dhruvo mrityuhu dhruvam janma mrutasya cha. Constantly changing. That's how one of the name of the Jagat, Aparaprakriti, Ishvara alone, of course, it has been described as a Nashvaraha. Nashvaraha means which has a nature of Nashaha, destruction. All the time, including time. That's how time is called Kalaha. They say Kalayati iti Kalaha, which all the time counts. Which all the time counts. Either you count in terms of picoseconds or a microsecond, millisecond, whatever you count. But you are counting. Time is the one which is all the time counting itself, going away. And everything in the time will also go away. So therefore, one who is craving for Ishvara, understanding as infallible. What is infallible is Ishvara. What is fallible is this Jagat. So while resorting to Jagat, then one will have all the chance to fall down. Because the support goes away. And therefore, what is infallible is Ishvara. Not Ishvara is infallible. Puja Swamiji very nicely says, what is infallible is Ishvara. And that is what he now wants. He doesn't want to fall down. Therefore, he is desperately interested in Bhagavan alone as a top priority. That is the meaning of asakta. And here, I don't know whether you may be interested in grammar or not, but I'm just saying for the sake of saying, because some people may be interested in online. Mai asakta manaha, that is been has been understood. Mai, you can keep it separate. Mai asakta manaha. Mai means in me, Parameshwara. Asakta manaha is a samasa. Asaktam manaha yasya saha asakta manaha. This is one. Or Mayasakta Manaha is a one word. Then Mayasakta Manaha, they call it as a Aluk Samasa. Aluk Samasa means where the vibhaktis will not, the lopa will not take place. Like Parasmai Padam, Atmane Padam, right? Atmane is a fourth case. And Padam is another word, Atmane is another word. But when you combine, you should drop that vibhakti in a samasa, but you don't. This is Aluk Samasa. This is, by the way, ignorance is bliss, nothing to worry about. But then this is, hey Partha, oh Arjuna, this is how Well, you should understand this way that the spiritual seeker has these three things. God is the goal. Second description is Yoga Munjan. Bhashakara says, Manaha Samadhanam, focus. So, means focus of the mind. Yunjan means Kurvan. Yoga Munjan means focusing the mind on the Lord, performing appropriate sadhanam. So, in Karma Yoga also you focus on mind. If you don't focus on Ishvara, doing karma, it is not Karma Yoga. Even if you are doing a reaching out action, even if you are serving in the society, but serving the society as serving the society, then it is not Karma Yoga. Serving the society as a serving Ishvara is a Karma Yoga. So that is how Karma Yoga has two aspects, karma and karma phala. And the yoga means in your attitude. Or connecting. Yoga means, let's say, connection. Connection to Ishvara through karma. Connection to Ishvara through karma phala. The special attitude. That what I am doing ultimately is for Ishvara. Why? Because he has done homework. What homework? He knows Ishvara. He is a maker and material. So whatever I am doing in the world is ultimately doing for Ishvara because he is the material. So he is in all the forms. And therefore, so karma, Ishvararpana buddhi while doing karma. Ishvararpana means this is what it is. So this is Karma Yoga and Prasada. Whatever comes to you ultimately also by laws of Ishvara. And therefore, the varieties of the situation in your life you obtain is given by Ishvara alone. So Prasada buddhi, etc. Also we say, with a little grace, may not be so happy. In certain situation when you receive, you may not be so happy. But you see the hand of Ishvara in that. That's it. So Karma Yoga, so there also focus is where? Ishvara. Upasana, definitely. Upasana focusing is on Ishvara. And Jnanam, well, all the time. Where Ishvara you are trying to see as a Atma. So Yogam Yunjan, Bhashakara very quietly says, Manaha Samadhanam Kurvan. Any kind of practice, Karma Yoga or Upasana or a Jnanam, well, he is focusing on Ishvara. Means is Ishvara. Goal is Ishvara, means is Ishvara. One can gain Ishvara if means is Ishvara. That's it. Because it's a discovery. So you have achieved the goal. So you are bringing, as though manifesting Ishvara in your life through the means. And thereby, ultimately, you gain it. It's a discovery. And in discovery, this is how it is. So that is how the means also is Ishvara, either in form of Dharma, Rama, whatever you say. Ultimately, it is not something away. Ishvara is not away. Already you and he are one alone. In that case, you have to discover it. In a discovery, well, whatever you do in such a manner that Ishvara manifests. That's how it is. And therefore, when you go against even Dharma, well, your smallness manifests. Right? When you cheat somebody, your fullness manifests or your smallness manifests. Yeah. When you have a jealousy for something, when you speak something bitter for somebody or to somebody, smallness manifests or fullness manifests? Smallness manifests. So going against Dharma also, well, going against Ishvara. Dharma is also manifestation of Ishvara. And therefore, basically, one puts an effort in such a way that the fullness, Ishvara manifests, wholeness manifests. Then one day you will discover wholeness. That's how it is. So means also is Ishvara, goal also is Ishvara. This is how it is. Swamiji, it is enough. It's 11. Okay. We'll see after the class. Break. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om.